The wind wailed with an eerie howl. Magistrate Croft pulled back the curtain and peered out his office window. The gales of November had come early this year, and along with them, several mysteries for which he had no explanation. The citizens of the town of Shadowbrook had always been a superstitious lot. They would blame every untimely event on the forces of the supernatural. However, this time, their fears seemed to be warranted. This time, their stories were supported by physical evidence. 3 separate and seemingly explainable deaths had occurred inside a fortnight, but each of the cases included facts that could not be explained by rational means. Magistrate Croft was not a man that was apt to believe in fanciful tales or exotic theories, but the circumstances that surrounded these deaths were unusual. Dr. Manning, the town's resident physician, had determined that all 3 instances, tragic as they were, resulted from explainable causes. However, Croft had his doubts. He had investigated many unusual deaths during his career, but these recent cases were different. The first occurred 2 weeks prior, when the body of a young girl named Alice Barnes was found along the western path which led to the old woods. Her throat had been ripped apart by the teeth of a large animal. Dr. Manning determined the young girl was the victim of a wolf attack. A hunting party was formed that evening, but no tracks of the beast could be found, and the party was disbanded after several days of searching. The second involved that of a 13-year-old boy. Obadiah Payne was seen traveling along the east road toward Tidewater, but he never arrived. A group was formed to search for him, but the party could find no trace of the boy. 2 days later, his mangled corpse was found in a copse of trees just south of the east road. He too had been viciously attacked by a large predator, his throat having been torn open by a set of large canines. The last occurred inside the church cemetery, where the lifeless body of Eleanor Woodbury was found near her husband's grave. She too had been the victim of a powerful attack by a menacing creature. In all 3 instances, Dr. Manning determined the deaths resulted from a powerful bite being swiftly delivered to the victim's throat. He listed the deaths as probable wolf attacks, but the absence of any tracks near the bodies, as well as very little blood being found at the scene, proved to be both inconsistent and disturbing. Following the 3rd attack, Croft requested help from the governor, and his office dispatched 4 investigators to aid him in the inquiry. To understand the deaths in Shadowbrook, we must look back in history, back to the 15th century, to an ancient castle in the Transylvanian mountains, and a powerful ruler named Count Radu Vasilescu. Count Radu Vasilescu was born in the year 1431, in a small town in the Carpathian Mountains called Karansaybesh. In 1456, he led a force that destroyed an army of Ottoman Turks, saving Central Europe from being overrun by the Ottoman hordes. However, soon after his glorious victory, Radu was hunting in a forest near his castle, when he was bitten by a creature known in the local tongue as a Vrikolakas, an ancient feral vampire. The beast did not kill him, but Radu was thereafter cursed to walk the earth for eternity as a bloodthirsty vampire. During the intervening 350 years, Radu has traveled from his ancient homeland in the Carpathians, and has relocated to the northeastern United States, where he seeks new victims to fill his brood of vampire disciples.
Good evening, gamers, and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. Tonight, I'll be playing A Touch of Evil, the Supernatural game, 10-year anniversary edition, from Flying Frog Productions. In this playthrough, we'll be taking on the dreaded vampire. I've chosen to operate 4 heroes during my solo playthrough. I'll reveal 2 heroes at a time, and we'll choose one and discard the other. This is a brilliant method to use as it gives the solo player some control over the formation of the team, but it also forces the player to make trade-offs. As the identity of the villain has already been revealed, the solo player should use their knowledge of the villain's strengths and weaknesses in forming his investigative team. The game is often very difficult to win, so using a bit of strategy when planning the composition of your team is not cheating, it's simply playing smart. To begin, let's look at our opponent and try to prepare a plan to combat him. His keywords include ancient and vampire, and several of his minions include the keywords animal and undead. Several heroes gain bonuses when fighting enemies with these keywords, namely Blackwell, Eliza, and Sarah, so weight should be given to these heroes if they become available for selection. The vampire has some of the more capable minions in the game, particularly that of the succubus. This creature possesses two exceptional abilities, that being vicious and alluring. Its vicious ability inflicts 2 hits for each 6 it rolls during a fight. In addition, the creature receives a +1 bonus when fighting male heroes. Thus, more weight should be given to securing female heroes during the selection process. As we'll be running 4 investigators during the game, the vampire is going to begin with 20 health, and that number is likely to rise quickly if the heroes are unable to find the fiend's lair and bring him to a showdown. Now we'll begin constructing our team of heroes. We're going to reveal 2 heroes. We're going to select one and discard the other. And our first set is revealed to be Anne-Marie, the school teacher, and Liliana, the lost soul. Anne-Marie possesses better skill values and a powerful ability called Knowledge is Power, with which she gains +2 combat for each book item she possesses. However, Liliana has 2 powerful abilities called Shadow of the Past and Spirited. Her Shadow of the Past ability can prove extremely powerful as it allows her to roll an extra fight die for every hit she gains during a fight round. This gives her the potential to do an enormous amount of damage during every fight round. In addition, her Spirited ability forces her to use spirit during a fight. If she can gain items that provide her with a bonus to her spirit, she could quickly become a juggernaut. Given these realities, I'm going to choose Liliana, the Lost Soul. Our next grouping of heroes will be Lucy Hanbrook and Isabella von Tuch, the noblewoman. Both characters have only 2 health boxes, however each of them has abilities that help to mitigate this disadvantage. Lucy has the Lucky ability, which allows her to force an opponent to re-roll one of their fight die, which would likely reduce the number of hits she would have to endure. She also has the ability of Youth that allows her to heal 1 wound at the start of each of her turns. Very powerful. Isabella, on the other hand, has a powerful Manipulation ability that allows her to discard any ally, item, or investigation token to prevent a wound. This ability combines well with her Personal Servant's ability, which increases her carrying capacity by 1. However, Lucy's Hanbrook ability is, I think, the deciding factor. It offers her 4 starting investigation tokens and the ability to recover at the manor instead of at the town hall. And this allows her better use of the secret passage to the monastery. So I'm going to be selecting Lucy as my second hero. Okay, here's our third grouping. We have Argo Blackwell, Master Hunter, and Victor Danforth, the playwright. I think this one's an easy selection. Although Danforth's flair of the dramatic and creative thinking abilities can be powerful over the course of a game, Blackwell's Hunter, Know Thine Enemy, and On the Hunt for Evil abilities will easily prove to be much more effective against the vampire. So we're going to select Argo Blackwell, Master Hunter. And our final 2 heroes are revealed to be Sarah, the Bright Witch, and Thomas, the Courier. Both heroes have similar skills. Thomas's traveler ability provides him with a great deal of mobility. He gets to add +2 to his move rolls. And this is very powerful when you're playing with 3 expansion boards and there's a great deal of ground to cover. However, Sarah's Strength of Light ability provides her with a steady supply of investigation tokens, which when combined with her Aura of Protection ability can help to prevent the death of town elders, one of the primary drivers of the Shadow Track. So I'm going to choose Sarah the Bright Witch as my final hero.
It's been a long and arduous journey, but Liliana's quest has finally ended. Her search has led her to a remote town in New Hampshire called Shadowbrook. She is convinced that the recent deaths in Shadowbrook are the work of the same ancient evil that slaughtered her own family, and she believes its lair cannot be far away. Liliana is the only living eyewitness of the bloodbath that ravaged her village nearly 4 years ago. She has pledged a solemn oath to hunt down this ageless creature of the night and destroy it once and for all.
Lucy is the only child of Lord and Lady Hornbrook, the wealthiest citizens of the town of Shadowbrook. Lucy has lived a sheltered and privileged life within the confines of her parents' large estate, which is known by the townsfolk simply as the Manor. Although she is still nearly a child, Lucy has developed a grand passion for adventure, as she spent much of her youth exploring the area around her father's estate, the town, and beyond. She has always shown an interest in paranormal phenomena, and she's used her father's extensive library to increase her knowledge of the local geography, legends, and myths. Unbeknownst to her parents, Lucy has secretly begun her own investigation into the recent rash of deaths in the town, and she has committed herself to solving the mystery at any cost.
Argo Blackwell has seen with his own eyes what the powers of the supernatural world can inflict upon mankind. He was born in a farming community in central Silesia. When Argo was 7, the region was gripped by a pack of feral werewolves that terrorized the countryside. One night, the Lycans attacked Argo's village and slaughtered his entire family, tearing them to pieces in front of him. Of the village of almost 70 souls, only Argo was spared when a valiant huntsman tracked the creatures to Argo's village and single-handedly put them all to the sword. Argo never forgot this act of heroism and combat prowess, and he's dedicated his life to the study, pursuit, and extermination of the dark creatures which inhabit the underworld.
Sarah is a child of nature. She was raised in the countryside and has developed a deep love and oneness with the natural realm. She has studied the ancient disciplines of white magic since she was a young girl, and she's learned to harness those powers for good. Sarah has sensed that an evil presence has overshadowed the region, and she's come to the town to save its beleaguered inhabitants from destruction. However, her commitment to protecting life and preserving the natural world will undoubtedly be put to the test, as the creature she opposes is both ancient and malevolent.
Okay, we're going to be playing with the solo play rules and using the team of heroes method. The only change from the standard rules is that event cards are going to be placed in a community pool. And rather than each individual hero having his own event cards, they're going to be in a community pool and any of the heroes will be able to utilize those whenever they wish. We're going to be using the insanity level of difficulty. And that will include using the cooperative shadow track, the advanced cooperative mystery phase chart, and the optional showdown chart. I'll bring those charts up on the screen so you can have a look at those. And that's going to give us make for a very competitive game for us. We're also going to be adding a few optional rules. Those are listed on page 36 of the 10th Anniversary Edition rulebook. We're going to be adding a modified version of Endurance of Evil and a modified version of Hunting for Clues. The modified version of the Endurance of Evil optional rule is going to award the villain +1 health every time he kills an elder or KOs a hero. I like this rule because in the case of when a hero has no items or investigation tokens to lose, they tend to just keep continuing with combat because there's really no consequences for them if they're knocked out. They would go back to the town hall with no real lasting consequences. But in this case, they have to be slightly more careful because they're going to be adding to the villain's health every time that they get KO'd. So I like that rule quite a bit, and I use that in all of my games. The other optional rule is Hunting for Clues. Now we're going to be using the new rules for collecting investigation that are found in the 10th Anniversary Edition, but we're going to modify that a little bit. The heroes will be able to collect one investigation by simply moving through or into a space with an investigation token. But in order for them to collect more than one, we're going to utilize the Hunting for Clues rule. And in that, a hero will make a Spirit or Cunning 5+ test, and for each success, they'll be able to collect one investigation from the space that they're in. This is an action that can be taken during their turn. Another extra item that we're going to be adding to the game is the Hero Upgrades game supplement. Each of the heroes has an upgrade card that they're able to bring into play by paying 10 investigation and discarding an event card that allows them to level up. I'm going to show on the screen each of the hero upgrades for Liliana, Lucy Handbrook, Argot Blackwell, and Sarah. So you can take a look at those, and many of those are very powerful, but it's going to take quite a big effort for them to be able to purchase those upgrades. Once they get the upgrade, it can't be taken away from them. They use it for the rest of the game. The game is now set and we're ready for play. We're going to determine who the first player will be for the first turn. All right, we'll roll a die for each of the characters, and the high roller will become the first player. We'll begin by rolling a die for Liliana. Okay, she rolled a 3. And next will be Lucy Handbrook. She rolled a 6. And we've got Argo Blackwell. He also rolled a 6. And finally, Sarah the Bright Witch. She rolled a 4. So we'll have a roll-off between Argo Blackwell and Lucy Handbrook. This will be for Argo. He rolled a 5. And Lucy rolls another 6. So Lucy will have the first player token. She'll begin the game as the first player. Lucy will begin her turn by rolling a d6 for movement. She rolled a 4, so she has 4 movement points. I think she's going to make her way to the blacksmith and spend some of that investigation tokens that she begins the game with. So she'll move 1, 2, 3, 4 to the blacksmith shop. Step 2 would be fight enemies in her space. There are none. So then step 3 is take actions. And she's going to begin with encountering the space. And there's text at the blacksmith. It says draw an event. So she'll draw an event card. And she gets gossip and rumors, event. Play at any time, except during a fight, to peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. You may choose one of those secrets to discard and draw a new one without looking to replace it. And the flavor text is, my cousin's brother-in-law heard from his friend. All right, so that will be added to the community pool of event cards. And the next step at the blacksmith is the store. She can buy town items. And she's going to do that. She will spend 2 of her investigation to purchase a horse. It's going to give her some extra mobility. It'll add +1 to her move. It's a town item animal transport. That's going to cost her 2 investigation tokens. That will leave her with 2 investigation remaining, as she started the game with 4. And I think Lucy's going to play that gossip and rumors card. And it says play at any time, except during a fight, to peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. You may choose one of those secrets to discard and draw a new one without looking and replace it. Well, she's going to take a look at the secrets of Reverend Harding. And the reason being, Reverend Harding has probably the best special ability of all of the elders when facing the vampire. He has a special ability, gain +2 fight dice versus any vampire, ghost, or demon. +1 fight dice versus the others. So we're going to take a look at his secrets and see what they are. All right, this is Reverend Harding's model. And his secret is inner strength. A fire burns in the heart of this town elder. With a warrior's spirit and a hero's courage, they are a natural leader and a powerful ally. During a showdown, the hero gains +2 fight dice as well as the town elder's normal special ability. Well, that's fantastic. So we're going to, we'll actually reveal that. That is for all to know. That's actually very good. So we'll put that back. And Reverend Harding will go back to his card, and we will not be replacing that. We'll keep that as is. So that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that's going to end Lucy's turn. We'll move on to Argo Blackwell, and we'll roll for his movement. He rolled a 2. All right. Okay, Argo is going to use one of his 2 movement points, and he's going to travel to the blacksmith as well. Now, unfortunately, Argo has an ability called Gruff Outsider. Does not draw an event card for encountering a town space. So he won't be able to draw any event cards there, as is the normal procedure for the blacksmith, but he can utilize the store there, and that's what he's going to do. He's also going to purchase a horse for 2 investigation tokens, and that's going to give him +1 to his move. The mobility when you're playing with 3 boards is very important. So any cards that can increase a hero's mobility are favored. That will complete Argo Blackwell's turn, and we'll move on to Sarah the Bright Witch. Now Sarah has a special ability called Strength of Light. She gains 2 investigation at the start of each of her hero turns. She also loses 1 investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. But in this case, she's going to gain 2. So that's going to give her a total of 4 investigation to start the turn. And we'll have her roll for movement. Okay, she rolled a 1. Now that entitles her to draw an event card. Whenever you roll a 1, you can draw an event card. So we'll do that. And she ends up getting Aggressive Combat. Event Combat. Give any hero, minion, or villain +2 combat for one fight round. Well, that's fantastic. We'll add that to the community pool. And now she has one movement point, and she also is going to head to the blacksmith. I always think it's very important for the heroes to stock up on equipment as early as possible. I think that gives them the best chance at success. So we'll have her move to the blacksmith. Okay, Sarah is going to encounter the space, and at the blacksmith that allows her to draw an event card, so she'll draw another event. And her card is Militia. Event Militia. Play immediately. Place a militia marker on any named space on the board. Limit one militia per space. All right, that's a fantastic card. And I think she's going to place that militia token at the doctor's office. That's a very important location, and if we can keep that clear of enemies, that benefits the whole group. So we'll place a militia marker at the doctor's office, and then that card is discarded. Then while Sarah's at the blacksmith shop, she's going to purchase a charmed relic. It's 3 investigation tokens. Town item ward. Once per game round, when you draw a card from a corner location deck, you may discard it and draw again. After each use, roll a d6. On a roll of 1, discard this item. So she's going to do that. She'll pay 3 investigation tokens to obtain that charmed relic. And that just gives, I think, her a better chance at exploring. If you end up pulling a bad card, this at least gives you a way to prevent that card from taking action against you. Okay, that will conclude Sarah's turn, and we'll move on to Liliana. We'll roll a die for her movement. Okay, she rolled a 1, so that entitles her to draw an event card. And she gets Accusation. It's an event. Play as an action to immediately gain 3 investigation for each other hero in your space, or play at the start of a showdown to reveal any one town elder's secrets. If this causes them to become an evil elder, gain 6 investigation. Well, that's a very powerful card. I think, now this has to be played as an action. So I think the thing to do is to move her to the blacksmith, and she would be able to gain 3, 6, 9 investigation by playing that card in that location. So I think that's what we'll do. She's going to move 1 point into the blacksmith's shop, and as an action she's going to play Accusation, which will net her 9 investigation points. That's outstanding. Okay, we'll discard that card. She's gained 9 investigation. And now she's going to encounter her space. So she's going to encounter the blacksmith, and that entitles her to draw an event card. So we'll do that. She gets to draw another event. This time it is Endurance. Event. Play immediately. Play this card on any hero to give them an extra health box. Remains in play. All right. I think the smart play would be to give that to Lucy Hanbrook. She only has 2 health boxes to start, so I think we'll give that to her. That'll give her 3. All right, that's very good. And now Liliana will be able to utilize the store at the blacksmith. And she's going to purchase a couple items there. First one is Book of Town History. That costs 4 investigation. Town item book. Gives her a +1 to cunning. And it costs 1 investigation less to look at the secrets of a town elder, down to a minimum of 1. All right, that'll cost her 4 investigation. And she's also going to purchase an old map. And that is Town Item Map. Gives her +1 to honor. Instead of moving normally, she can discard the old map to move to any space on the board. and that's going to cost her 2 investigation. All right, I think that was a good first turn for the heroes, and we're going to move on to the dreaded mystery phase. All right, the mystery phase opens with minions move. There's no minions on the board that have any mobility. There's no minions on the board at all. Next step would be start of the mystery phase. So anything that would happen at the beginning of the mystery phase would be executed at this point. Then KO'd heroes would revive. The villain would heal. And then we move on to a roll on the cooperative mystery phase chart. And we'll do that. That's going to be a 2d6 roll. So we're going to roll 2d6 and then check that versus the advanced cooperative mystery phase chart. Here's the roll. He rolled a 4. It's called Lies and Deceit. Roll a d6. Any town elder with honor equal to or less than the roll gains 1 secret. If any town elder has 3 or more unrevealed secrets, immediately reveal them. Okay, we're going to roll a d6, and then any town elder with an honor equal to or less than the roll is going to gain a secret. Okay, here's the roll. Rolled a 4. All right, so let's take a look here. Equal to or less than. Lady Handbrook has an honor of 1, so she's going to gain a secret. Reverend Harding has a 3 for honor, he'll gain 1. Dr. Manning has a 2 honor, he'll gain 1. Magistrate Croft and the widow Jessica, each of them have honor of 4, they'll be gaining 1. And finally, Mayor Carver has an honor of 1, he'll gain 1. Now those, the elders that are from the Tidewater Village began the game with 2 secrets. So Mayor Carver is going to have 3 secrets, and we would have to reveal those then. Anytime with any elder with 3 or more unrevealed secrets, immediately reveals them. So we're going to place those secrets cards, and then we'll see what happens to Mayor Carver. Okay, so the town elders have received their additional secrets cards, and in doing so, Mayor Carver and the widow Jessica each have 3 secrets, so we're going to have to reveal those per that advanced cooperative mystery phase chart result. We'll start with Mayor Carver, and we'll see what his cards are. Okay, Mayor Carver has Darkest Secret. The elder is either in direct control of the villain or is the villain. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. Do not discard this secret. The villain gains an extra +1 combat, and this evil elder may not be targeted in a fight. All right. So, when that happens, Mayor Carver now is no longer Mayor Carver. He is going to become Elder of the Dark God. All right. Okay, we'll have to reveal the remaining secrets, and any secrets that are listed as evil will be retained. Any other ones are discarded. So his other cards are Coward, that one would be discarded, and On the Hunt. So both of those are going to be discarded, and his darkest secret per the card will be maintained and kept. So these 2 are going to be discarded, and we're going to add the Elder of the Dark Gods to the villain. And now the widow Jessica also has 3 secrets, so those will need to be revealed. We'll see what she has. First one is Darkest Secret. Secret evil. The elder is either in direct control of the villain or is the villain. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. Do not discard this secret. The villain gains an extra +2 health, and this evil elder may not be targeted in a fight. All right, we'll have to reveal the remainder of her cards. The Widow Jessica now has become the Collector. There she is. Okay, so we'll reveal the rest of her cards. Any cards with the keyword evil will be retained. All other cards will be discarded. And her other cards are Servant to Darkness. Working in the shadows, the town elder has been seduced by the dark promise of power and riches. They are now an evil shell of their former self, little more than a henchman of darkness. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. If this elder was a part of your hunting party, they immediately make a free 2 fight dice attack against you, or against every hero present in the cooperative team play. All right, well, that one is retained. And finally, it's a little secret, War Criminal, so that one would be discarded. So we've lost 2 elders already with just that simple advanced cooperative mystery chart roll. Not good. And now our next step is going to be to draw a mystery card. And that one is revealed to be No One is Safe. Mystery Death. The villain attacks, killing one of the town elders. Roll a d6. Any town elder with an honor equal to the roll is killed. Each hero gains 2 investigation. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to roll a d6, and any elder with that honor is going to be killed. Okay, here's the roll. Rolled a 4. Well, there are 2 elders with an honor of 4. Both Magistrate Croft and the Widow Jessica. Now, the Widow Jessica has already become the Collector. So, Magistrate Croft is going to be killed. Now, the villain has a special ability called Vampiric Bite. Any town elder killed by the vampire is turned into a vampire elder on a d6 roll of 4+, discarding any secrets they have and joining the vampire as an evil elder. So we're going to roll a d6, and on a 4 or greater, Magistrate Croft will not be killed. He will be turned into a vampire elder. Here's the roll. He rolled a 4. So Magistrate Croft is now, he becomes the Executioner. All right, we'll add him to the villain's card. As a part of that mystery card, each hero gains 2 investigation. So we've given each of the heroes 2 investigation tokens. And now, the cooperative game track has to be adjusted. Now, technically, per that card, it says that the villain killed the town elder. When a town elder is killed, that moves the shadow track 2 spaces. So, even though we've determined that his vampiric bite turned that town elder into a vampire elder, the card did say that the town elder was killed. So we're going to have to move that down 2 spaces. That'll put it to 18. 18. And that is going to complete the mystery phase. We're going to pass the first player token. That will go from Lucy to Argo Blackwell. And that completes the first turn. It's too bad. Sarah has the ability called Aura of Protection, which allows her to pay 2 investigation at any time to prevent a wound to any town elder or hero on a d6 roll of 3 or greater. But unfortunately, she only had 1 investigation token. She didn't have enough to pay for that. That could have saved that town elder from being killed. But no go on that. One tip that I came up with that kind of helps me to remember is to place the +2 wound and +1 combat bonuses that the villain gets right on the shadow track. As the marker would move into the stage, the villain would get that bonus. And it's just a good way to not forget to give those bonuses out to the villain. That's something that I kind of came up with. That was a very difficult turn for the heroes. We lost 3 elders with the first turn. Hopefully their luck will change for the next turn. Okay, our first player now is Argo Blackwell, and he is going to roll for movement. He rolled a 1. Well, that entitles him to an event card, and let's see what he gets. He pulls the event Entourage. Event, play immediately. Play this card on any hero. That hero may now carry up to 2 additional ally cards. These may be from any locations and or ally town items. Remains in play. Well, I think he'll play that on himself. That probably would be a good card for him. So we'll play that on Argo. Now he has 1 movement point available. Well, as Argo has that gruff outsider ability, which does not allow him to draw event cards for encountering town spaces, I think Argo is going to make his way towards the windmill. So we're just going to move him 1 space onto that road path. And he does have the horse that would allow him +1 to movement. So he would technically have 2 movement points. So we'll move him an extra point down the path. And that'll get him closer to the windmill. And that's going to conclude Argo's turn. Next is Sarah the Bright Witch. Now, she has Strength of Light. In the previous turn, the Shadow Track dropped 2 points from 20 to 18. She should have lost 1 investigation for each time the Shadow Track moves a step closer to darkness. So she would be losing 2 investigation for that. However, she also gains 2 investigation at the start of her hero turn. So currently she has 3 investigation points, and she's going to roll for movement. Okay, here's her roll. She rolled a 5. Okay, let's see where we can move Sarah. Okay, Sarah has a fairly high spirit, and the manor focuses on spirit, secrets, and books. So I think we'll try to move her to the manor. So she has 5 movement points, and she's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to the manor. Okay, there are no enemies to fight in that spot, and now she can take actions. And I think she'll encounter the space, so we're going to draw a manor card for her and see what she encounters. And her draw is Exotic Meal. Investigation. As you sit down to dinner, you are horrified to see the delicacy that has been prepared. If you decide to eat, add a resolve token to both Lord Handbrook and Lady Handbrook. Then roll 3 dice. For each roll of a 1 or 2, take 1 wound or lose 1 investigation. For each roll of a 6, gain a +1 honor marker. If you decide not to eat, you must immediately escape the manor. All right, we'll have to think about that one. I think she's going to sit down to eat because adding the resolve tokens to both Lord and Lady Handbrook are pretty powerful. So we're going to do that, and we're going to roll 3 dice. And we'll see what the results of that exotic meal are. Okay, we've given resolve tokens to Lord and Lady Handbrook, and now we're going to roll our 3 die and see what happens. Rolls of 1 or 2 or 6 are going to either give us a gain or a loss. We'll see what happens. Here's the roll. Well, we rolled 1 6 and a 1. So for each roll of 1 or 2, take a wound or lose an investigation. So in this case, I think what we'll do is Sarah is going to lose an investigation token. And we'll put that back to the supply. And she's going to gain a +1 honor marker for the roll of 6. So we'll give her the +1 honor marker. That's going to move her honor up to 5. So +1 honor. That was actually not a bad card. And that's going to end Sarah's turn. Now it's Liliana's turn, and we're going to roll for movement for her. Here's the roll. She rolled a 3. Okay, so that gives her 3 movement points. And she's going to move towards the windmill. So that'll move her 1, 2, 3 to the windmill. There are no enemies at the windmill, so she's going to draw, she will encounter the space and we'll draw a windmill card for her. And she draws broken spectacles. Investigation. Cracked and twisted, these glasses bear a striking resemblance to those worn by Dr. Manning. Make a cunning 5+ test and gain 1 investigation for every 5+ rolled. If you rolled at least 1 6, you may also look at the secrets of Dr. Manning. All right, very interesting. Okay, Liliana has a cunning of 2, and she also possesses the Book of Town History, which gives her a +1 cunning. So she'll be rolling 3d6 for this test. And for every 5 or greater, she'll be able to gain an investigation. If we get a 6, we can view Dr. Manning's secrets. Here's the roll. And she has no successes, a 4, a 3, and a 2. All right, so nothing gained, nothing lost. We'll put that broken spectacles card in the discard, and that is going to end Liliana's turn. And now it's Lucy Handbrook. Lucy's going to roll for movement. She has a horse, so that will give her +1 to her move roll. And here's her roll. She rolled a 4, so that's modified to a 5. So she'll have 5 movement points. And I think Lucy's going to go back to the manor, so she'll use those movement points to go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to join Sarah at the manor. Okay, there's no enemies at the manor, so Lucy's going to draw a manor card. She draws dueling pistol. Item, gun, honor. +1 honor. You may now use honor instead of combat during a fight. Roll fight dice equal to your honor. Well, that's a fantastic card. We'll add that to Lucy's list of items. And that will be completing the hero turns, and we'll move on to the dreaded mystery phase. All right, our first eligible step in the mystery phase is going to be to roll on the cooperative mystery phase chart. Be a 2d6 roll, and here's the result. Rolled an 8. That's murder, murder. Draw a random location and place 3 investigation there. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. This counts as though the mystery card murder had been played for villain abilities. All right, we're going to draw a random location. So we'll draw a layer card, and 3 investigation are going to go there. And that is at Smuggler's Cove. All right, that is on the coast board. All right, so 3 investigation will appear at Smuggler's Cove. And that will also set off the vampire's Children of the Night special ability. Anytime the mystery card murder is played, roll a d6. On a roll of 4+, we place a succubus at that same location. So we're going to make a roll, and on a 4+, a succubus will appear. Here's the roll. Rolled a 1, so no help there for the villain. Now the villain track, the shadow track, went down 1 from 18 to 17, and Sarah's strength of light ability will kick in, and she's going to lose an investigation each time the shadow track moves a step closer to darkness. So she's going to lose 1 investigation, and that will leave her with 1 remaining. And that completes the cooperative mystery phase chart step. We'll move on to the draw a mystery card step. Okay, we're going to draw a mystery card, and that one is revealed to be These Roads Aren't Safe, mystery. Roll once on the villain's minion chart and work out the result. If a minion or villain attack result is rolled, the player who drew this card chooses any empty space on the board to place that minion or villain attack. Move the shadow track one step closer to darkness. All right. So we're going to roll on the vampire's minion chart. It's a d6 roll, and we'll see what has transpired. Roll is a 3. That's wolves. Okay, I'll bring that up on the screen. They have 3 fight dice, and they are discarded at the end of the first fight round, but they're deadly. And this enemy gains fight dice hits on rolls of 4, 5, or 6 instead of the normal 5 or 6. All right. Okay, we're able to place those wolves on any empty space on the board that we choose. I think we'll place that on this road path up here. That's somewhat out of the way. And that will complete that portion of the card. Then the shadow track is going to move a step closer to darkness. And that is going to move it from 17 down to 16. And that is going to award the villain a +2 health marker. And in addition, Sarah's strength of light will kick in again, and she's going to lose another investigation as the shadow track has moved a step closer to darkness. She has no investigation at the moment. And that will complete the mystery phase. All that's left is we have to pass the first player marker, and that is going to go from Argo Blackwell to Sarah the Bright Witch. And that ends the turn. And we'll start a new game round, and it begins with the first player's hero turn. That is going to be Sarah the Bright Witch. She's currently at the manor, and she has Strength of Light. Gains 2 investigation at the start of each of her hero turns. So we'll give her 2 investigation tokens. And now we'll have her roll for movement. Okay, here's her roll. She rolled a 4. All right, we'll see what we can do with that 4-point movement allowance. She's going to use those 4 movement points and travel to the windmill. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, as there are no enemies to fight, we'll move on to the take actions portion of Sarah's step, and she's going to encounter the space. So she'll draw a card from the windmill, and that is revealed to be a pistol. Item, gun. +1 combat, and the flavor text is, "Ooh, you startled me. If you're going to sneak around with that thing, you should at least cock it." All right. Sarah is a witch. She's not able to use guns. So I think what she'll do is she can exchange items with another character. Now Liliana may not exchange items with allies. So I think what she'll do is she'll keep the pistol. She's just not able to use it. So Sarah will keep that, and we'll just have that upside down, inverted, so that we don't accidentally use it. And that will complete the turn for Sarah. And now we'll move on to Liliana, and she's going to roll for movement. She rolls a 3. So Liliana has 3 movement points. And let's see what she's going to do. She has a total of 7 investigation points. So I think she'll return to the blacksmith and see what she can purchase there. She'll move 1, 2, 3. So she's back at the blacksmith, and she's going to encounter this space. So we'll start with a draw an event at the blacksmith. And she finds Duck and Roll event. Play at any time to prevent up to 2 wounds to any hero, including yourself. Or play to cancel a roll on any chart and re-roll. All right, we'll add that to our community pool of events. And now Liliana is going to use the store at the blacksmith. And Liliana is going to purchase a torch for 4 investigation. Town item fire. You may ignore the effects of cards with keyword weather. Once per fight round, you may force an enemy in your space to re-roll one of its fight dice. After each use, roll a d6. On a roll of 1 or 2, discard. And in addition to that, that torch is a fire item, and that would help to prevent the vampire from employing its slips into the night ability. If a hero does no wounds to the vampire on their attack during a showdown fight round, roll a d6. On a 4+, the vampire immediately escapes, canceling the remainder of the showdown. Any hero in the space may discard a keyword fire item to prevent this. So I think that will be a good use of her at the blacksmith. She's going to purchase that torch for 4. And now we'll move on to Lucy Hanbrook. Okay, Lucy's at the manor, and she has a horse, so she'll be adding 1 to her movement roll. And we'll have her roll for movement. She rolls a 4, and that's modified to a 5 because of the horse. It gives her 5 movement points. And I think what she's going to do is she's going to use the secret passage. Instead of moving normally, you may pay 1 investigation to move to or from the manor. And that's to the monastery. So Lucy's going to pay 1 investigation. That leaves her 3. And she is going to move to the monastery. Okay, so Lucy is going to arrive at the monastery. There are no enemies at the monastery, so Lucy is going to encounter the space, and that will allow her to draw a monastery card. And she ends up getting Oath of the Hunter. Oath Hunter has 1 health box. You gain +1 fight dice against any vampire, ghost, or demon. Limit 1 oath. Do not count against carrying limit. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. We couldn't have hoped for a better card than that. So she gains an extra health +1 fight dice against a vampire, ghost, or demon. So that's great. That raises Lucy's health to 4 health boxes now. And now she's able to buy items, monastery items, at the monastery. We'll take a look at those and see what she might purchase. And Lucy's going to purchase a guide. Costs her 1 investigation token. Monastery Ally. You may discard guide to cancel and redraw any location card you have just drawn. So that'll be fantastic. We'll take that card for 1 investigation. That'll leave Lucy with 2 investigation points. And I think that will complete Lucy's turn, and we'll move on to Argo Blackwell, Master Hunter. Argo Blackwell is on the road southwest of the windmill, and he's going to roll for movement. He has a horse, so that will allow him a +1 to his movement roll. Here's his roll. He rolled a 6, so that'll get him 7 movement points. And I think he's still going to head for the windmill. Normally I'd like to take advantage of that large move, but he has a plan in mind. So he's going to move to the windmill, where he'll join Sarah the Bright Witch. And as there's no enemies in that spot, he's going to go to take action step. And the first thing he's going to do is declare a exchange items and allies action. So what he's going to do is take the pistol from Sarah. Sarah can't use guns, but he can. So he'll take that pistol, and now he's going to encounter the space. So we'll draw him a windmill card. Let's see what happens. And Argo gets Black Feather, Investigation. Climbing to the loft of the old windmill, you find a single black feather on the wooden floor. It is a quill etched with runic markings and dripping red. Make a Spirit 4+ test and gain 1 investigation for every 4+ rolled. All right. Argo has a Spirit of 2, so that will entitle him to roll 2 dice. And we'll see what he can get here. For every 4 or greater, he'll earn himself an investigation token. Okay, he rolled a 4 and a 5, so that will get him 2 investigation tokens, and that will raise his total to 4. And that will end the heroes step. And now we're going to go to the mystery phase. We'll start by rolling 2d6 and consulting the Advanced Cooperative Mystery Phase chart. Here's the roll. Rolled an 8. That's murder. Murder. Draw a random location and place 3 investigation there. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. This counts as the mystery card murder had been played for villain abilities. Okay, so we're going to draw a random location and find out where the investigation will go. And we draw a layer card, and it's going to be in the marsh. Okay, so that is right where we're at. So we're going to place 3 investigation tokens at the marsh. And the shadow track is going to move 1 step towards darkness. That will move it from 16 to 15. That will enact Sarah's Strength of Light ability, which is going to lose her 1 investigation token. She'll go from 2 down to 1 now. And that murder result is going to activate the vampire's Children of the Night ability. Anytime the mystery card murder is played, roll a d6. On a roll of 4+, put a succubus at the same random location. All right, so we're going to roll a d6. On a 4 or greater, a succubus appears at the marsh. You rolled a 1, so no help there for the villains. Our next step is the mystery card step. So we're going to draw a mystery card and follow what happens with that. The card is revealed as It Struck Again. Mystery Death. The villain attacks one of the town elders. Roll a d6. On a roll of 4 or greater, the town elder with the lowest honor is killed. Each hero gains 1 investigation. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to roll a d6 then, and on a roll of 4 or greater, town elder with the lowest honor is killed. Okay, here's the roll. You rolled a 5. Okay, so we'll find out who has the lowest honor. Okay, the lowest honor is Lady Hanbrook. She has an honor of 1, but she has a resolve token. So we're going to spend that resolve token, and that's going to guard her from being killed by the villain. And it says that each hero gains 1 investigation. So we were able to mitigate that card with that token. That was very, very good. And that's going to complete the mystery phase. We're going to pass the first player token from Sarah to Liliana, and that will end the round. And I think we'll end the video here. Heroes have done fairly well in acquiring equipment and investigation tokens, but the villain has wreaked havoc on the elders. We've lost 3 elders, and he's converted those to being vampire elders. So that's going to help him quite a bit during the showdown. We'll see what happens. Please join me again for episode 2 of my playthrough of A Touch of Evil 10-year anniversary edition. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.